All right, so if you have ADHD and you always feel like you're behind, you can never keep your head above water, there's just all these tasks to do, you're always running late, and you just can't seem to get on top of it, this is not a character flaw. This actually has to do with brain wiring, and this is something a lot of people with ADHD deal with. I like to call it time optimism. And today I'm going to talk with you about what time optimism is, and better yet, what you can do about it so you can feel on top of things, and you can feel like you're getting places on time and you're getting more done. That's what we're doing today. Let's dive right in. Oh, really quick, before we dive in, let me introduce myself. My name is Matt. I'm a therapist in private practice. I own a group practice called Progress Therapy, stylized as PRGRS. Our home base is in New York City, but we're able to see people virtually across the state of New York. We are a group practice that specializes in ADHD therapy. We also see people for a variety of other general mental health issues as well, but this video is not about that. If you're interested in working with us or learning more about our practice, click the link down below, check out our website. But without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So time optimism has everything to do with making the wrong assessment about how long a particular task is going to take. Now, this is something people with ADHD deal with frequently. So it's important to know that time management is part of the executive function skills, right? And so people who have ADHD have deficits in executive functioning. That means it's hard to manage time. Part of managing time is understanding or estimating how long something's going to take. And this is something that people with ADHD struggle with. So it's not a character flaw. It's not just about trying harder. But people with ADHD brains have a hard time estimating how long a particular task is going to take. So I really want people to understand this, to take the stigma away. It's not about trying harder. It's not about being lazy, right? It's not about just practicing more and more. But the way an ADHD brain is wired makes it so that it's hard to guess and estimate how long something's gonna take. The good news though is there's something that we can actually do about it to help improve. So one major principle I want people to always think about, especially when it comes to executive functions and ADHD, because ADHD causes impairments in executive function, we don't wanna just try harder or build more practice. Although that's fine, what we really wanna think about is how we externalize the executive functions that are impacted. So for example, time management, right? This is why timers and clocks work really well, because it externalizes time. But today we're going to talk about time optimism specifically and what you can do about that. Now, the other thing we have to talk about is the real consequence of time optimism. It might not seem like a big deal or maybe just a quirk that people get used to, but I've seen it over and over again where time optimism repeated over and over again leads to severe consequences like losing relationships, not being able to maintain friendships, losing jobs, this kind of thing. So we do want to take it seriously. It's not something we want to laugh about or just joke about, right? But it's something that can have really severe consequences. And I think on the outside, people don't take it seriously. But the people dealing with it, the people with ADHD, they realize that the consequences are dire and they've suffered those consequences. And it's really, really challenging. And so partly why I'm making these videos to educate the non-ADHD folks on the severity of these things. It's not to be taken lightly. It's something we really need to work on. Now here is the skill that works really well for time optimism to get more realistic estimates of time. Now it's not glamorous, it is a little tedious, but I promise you it does work. What you're gonna do is you're gonna time daily repetitive tasks over and over again until you have an average. Now, hear me out, we're not gonna time every single thing, right? That would be preposterous, it's not possible to do. But if we can get more accurate measurements on how long repetitive tasks take, we're gonna have much better grasp of our time. We're gonna have more time and buffer for the tasks that we aren't able to estimate really well. And overall, we're just gonna have a much better time with time management. There are so many repetitive tasks that when underestimated cause our whole day to go haywire, right? So what we're gonna do is we are going to first off list out all of our repetitive tasks that we do every day. Some examples: brushing our teeth, morning routine, nighttime routine, driving to work, taking the subway to work, right? These things that you do over and over again, this is what we're gonna try to tackle, all right? Once we have that list down, we're then going to set a timer each and every time we do those things. Now, this is where I get a lot of pushback. Well, I can't remember to set a timer, or I'm gonna forget. So the number one is that this doesn't have to be perfect. We don't need to time this every day for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But if we can even get 4 or 5 times on a particular task, that's gonna give us a decent average. And even if it takes you 6 months, it doesn't matter. I just want the data for you so that we have more accurate measurements, right? Now, a couple things we can do to help us remember is we can set a reminder that says, hey, time this task. My favorite is the most obvious. It's just putting a bold Post-it note on the area where you are when you do the task. So if it's brushing your teeth, bright pink Post-it on the mirror. Time this, right? Anything we can do to externalize our memory so we can remember to time is gonna be really, really helpful. We can have Siri help us or other kind of voice activated things, right? You can say, hey, time this and stop this. It just reduces some friction. The other thing is have someone help you, have a partner or a friend or a spouse or someone remind you that you need to time. Maybe they can even help you with that. There's nothing wrong with getting a little bit of help when we need to do this. At the end of the day, this is gonna benefit not just you, but everyone who's in your life as well. And what we're gonna do as we record these times, we're gonna put them in an Excel sheet, or you can put them on paper, whatever the case may be. So let's imagine we're recording our brushing our teeth or our morning routine, and we do it 5 times. You know, we get 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 15 minutes. We can then average that out. And now what we can do is we can take that average, and we know that roughly speaking, brushing our teeth or our morning routine is gonna take this much time. And now the next step of this is actually time blocking those repetitive tasks. So by the end of the timing and the averaging, you're gonna have a good list of how long these repetitive tasks take, and you're gonna now implant them into a calendar so you can visually see them. It doesn't have to be too tedious or too minute, but what we can do is maybe have our morning routine, and because we have the average time, you're gonna be able to block that out pretty accurately. And what you're gonna find is that your calendar is now gonna be filled with fairly accurate time blocks. So other things you aren't able to time, like that one-off work project or the things that pop up, you're now gonna be able to plan those much better within the free time blocks. And we're also gonna be able to add buffer zones as well around our time blocks because we're gonna have more accurate estimates. Now, I know this might sound tedious, it might take you a while, you might forget, but if we wrestle through this and we're able to get it done, you are gonna have a much better handle on time, and you will not be dealing with time optimism or the consequences like you are if you had not done this. At the end of the day, I hope this video is helpful for you. I hope you learned something. If you're interested in learning more about our practice, there's a link down below. Other than that, hope you have a great rest of your day.